Here we are in Granby, Massachusetts, in the very oldest part of the West Street Cemetery. This cemetery is from 1769 to contain the burials of the Protestants of Granby. And it has many old stones, and we're going to do three things while we have this stop. We're going to look at, I'm going to list out some of the names, and you might recognize some of the names, and then we're going to look at a few of the stones up close so that you can see some of the designs, and then we're going to do a 360 scan around the whole cemetery. Right now, are there some stones from the 1700s? Yes. And then from the 1800s? Yes. And there's even some from the early part of the 1900s. Right? So, can you see all kinds? If you see white ones, those are made out of marble. If you see brown ones, those are made out of brown stone, which is stone, basically sandstone glued together under pressure geologically. And if you see ones that are an obelisk, those are usually from the 1880s to 1910. All right. And if you see some that are etched into what looks like slate or shale, like those two are, then they are. And you can see some incredibly old stones. Now, a true burial back then would have the headstone facing towards the west and the footstone opposite facing towards the east. Now, I don't see any footstones. So someone at some point went through the cemetery and took out all the footstones. They're all gone. There probably were 1,000 of them here, and they're all gone. Horrible. All right, but they have left the headstones intact in the correct direction, so that is fine. All right, now who is buried here? A lot of the old names that you might recognize around Granby, right? When you look at this stone right here, it says in memory of Mrs. Angeline, daughter of Mr. Samuel and Mrs. Eunice Clark, who died January 28, 1806, age 7 months old and 16 days. She has a beautiful slate and stone, and it's well inscribed, and it keeps this inscription because slate and shale are such, they'll keep that inscription for many hundreds of years, right? And we're going to look some more, and we're going to look this direction. Do we see the back of the stones? Yes, like we should, because when you face towards the west, the gravestones are also facing towards the west. So a good thing about the cemetery, no one has bothered the stones and moved the stones around, but they have taken out all the footstones. You don't see a single one as we scan around here. All right. Now, could they use a good washing? Yes. Right. There's lichen and moss on a lot of these, and there's also a lot of slant to them. They should be put upright. You could also wash them with the biological agent, I believe it's called D2, which will make these all very white and brown again. There's some that are supported by support stones. You can see one in the distance, right? And then as we scan to this last quadrant, we see a beautiful brownstone one with two angels on the top of it, right? And that one is quite gorgeous and large. It probably has maybe 3 or 4 people on it. It's so big, it's probably one of the first family stones put up in this old section of the Granby Cemetery. So this is very hidden. You can only see this from Kellogg Street, and there's no entrance from there anymore. People coming in from West Street go to the modern section. They might go to the Victorian section, but they hardly ever wander back into this extremely old section. And it's quite gorgeous. I'm pretty sure there's way over 1,000, maybe 2,000 burials out here. And you get this good sense of what the history would have been like. Now what we're going to do is make a 360-degree scan of this whole back of the cemetery. And we're going to do it slowly so you can appreciate what kinds of stones you have